Welcome everyone. I've seen a couple of familiar names already here on the list. Welcome back for some of you, and definitely welcome to a couple of new names here, which is fantastic. My name is Jenny Falter. I'm one of the local team leaders here in the Bayside area. And tonight I have my team, the beautiful Jules, with me, and we are going to present to you a virtual cooking experience with the topic Consultants' Favorites. They're all going to share their favorite recipe, and that is their favorite for, all of them have very different reasons. Some of them have them on repeat on their virtual playlist, or some of them have just recently discovered that new recipe on cookidoo and they are bursting to share that one with you. Alright, so I've also seen on, thanks for your feedback at the registration, that most of you are already TM6 owners. So some of you, the majority, has a TM6 already on their kitchen bench, and you're here today to learn a little bit more on how to better get to use it, and that's what we want to share with you tonight. For those of you who have either no Thermomix until now, or have one of the older models and thinking of upgrading, we're happy to show this smart connected kitchen for you here tonight. Okay, so when it comes to cooking, we always like to ask at the beginning of our cooking experiences, what's most important for you when it comes to cooking? And usually we hear about 4 different answers. So very popular is, I don't have time to cook. Jenny, whatever, I would love to cook more, but I just don't have the time. There's just not enough hours in my day. Absolutely fair enough. Second reason we hear for very often is, I need to eat more healthy, for various different reasons. So either you want to change your diet, or you have to because your family members and have developed food intolerances, or you just want to change your way of eating lifestyle. And then the third reason is people say, I just don't know how to cook. For the life of me, I can't cook. That was, by the way, the reason why I got a Thermomix. My first one a couple of years ago. I just didn't know. I was completely overwhelmed. I had no idea how to cook. I didn't know how to use or to organize myself. With cooking with a cookbook was all too complicated, and I needed some guidance. And then we have the other extreme, people who love to cook. They have this is what that's their hobby. This is where they blossom. And they just want to learn more. They want to have that excitement to create new recipes, something they've never tried before. Even here, a Thermomix can help them. And the last one, very popular at the moment, is, with the cost of living increases, you just had to turn on the TV, and you just have to go to the grocery shopping, you will see that prices have increased. And we hear that a lot often that people say, I just need to cut down on my weekly grocery bill. So where can a Thermomix help me to save money on my grocery bill? So all of these reasons are very valid reasons. Maybe some of them do resonate with you. Maybe all of them do resonate with you. We don't know, but usually a little bit of mixture of all of that. And we want to show you how Thermomix can help you resolve these pain points in your kitchen. So for those of you who haven't upgraded yet, I want to quickly introduce you to the price. So the TM6 is our all-inclusive offer, 2359, and comes with everything that you can see here in the picture, including also a 6-month cookidoo subscription, which I will tell you a little bit later during our course tonight. You can reduce this price of the 2359 either by a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 even, or even get it completely for free by joining our team, and you can earn your Thermomix. So happy to tell you a little bit more about that if that's of interest for you. For those of you who have got your Thermomixes there, you could come and join my team and earn a little bit money back to pay towards your machine that you have there. We always love to welcome new team members in our team, and if you think what you're going to see tonight, you think, I could never do what these girls do. I don't know anything about Thermomix. So coming on board is actually the best way for you to become an expert user in your Thermomix, because that's what we are here for, right? We're here to teach you so you can make the most out of your machine, and maybe your excitement is inspirational for others, and they want a Thermomix too, so you could be their next Thermomix consultant. All right, before we start cooking, that is a bit of an overview about some of the modes and the functions that Thermomix has. We won't see all of them tonight, but what I want you to do is, if you have something in mind where you think, I'd really like to see this, that you haven't seen tonight. So it could be a dish, it could be a mode, it could be anything you'd be interested seeing the Thermomix doing it for you. Please go ahead, back to your consultant, either the one who's invited you here tonight, or you can pick any of us tonight. If you don't have a consultant, reach out to me, just reply back to the email with the confirmation that I sent to you, and we're going to find a consultant for you. They can come to your place and you could cook together. So we really want you to make the most out of your investment. We want you to confidently use your Thermomix, and that's what we're here for. We're happy to come back to your place and show you how it's done. All you need to do is say the word. Okay, enough for me for now. You'll hear me back in a moment. We are heading now over to Diana's kitchen, and Diana is our first presenter, and I will, hang on. Here we can see her. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Diana. What are you cooking for us tonight?
I'm making a mushroom bolognese sauce. My boys did this sign here. We ran out of letters, so I'm sorry, it's just mushroom bog there. But they gave it a thumbs up, and this recipe is special for me because we try and eat about 2 meat-free dinners a week if we can, or more. And I have one child who's very fussy, and I made this mushroom bolognese and both the kids loved it, gave it 10 out of 10. I even made this sauce and turned it into a lasagna, and they didn't even know it was vegetarian. So I think everyone should give it a go. And I don't know, trick your family members, give it a test. Now, with every recipe, this recipe I found in cookidoo, and every recipe always has the difficulty of the recipe, whether it's easy, medium, hard. I find this recipe very easy. However, it did say medium, so don't let that put you off. It's very easy. All the ingredients you should have in your pantry. It's a good clear out the fridge recipe as well. One of the first steps that we do is we actually use fresh porcini mushrooms there, and we pop them in the Thermomix and mill them to turn into porcini powder. Now, because I'm trying to hide mushroom taste, I actually never put this in this recipe, but I have made porcini powder myself, and this is really nice to add into mushroom risottos or sauces and gravies or stews if you want a little bit of extra flavour.
Can I just double check? You just said fresh mushrooms, so is it dried mushrooms?
Oh, yes, sorry.
The dried, okay.
Yes.
Just double checking.
Mushrooms. I like them, so we get them in bulk like that. It's just more cost effective rather than getting the little sachets, and these will last you for years. The second step in this recipe is we actually grate Parmesan cheese. And I just want to show you how, look, it only asks for 40 grams, but whenever I'm grating Parmesan cheese, I always do extra because who doesn't like cheese? And I just want to show you how beautifully fine this is. I actually prefer my Parmesan like this when I sprinkle it on my pastas and dishes, just because it's fine and you get that flavour spread out everywhere. And if you're trying to lose weight, you can add a little bit and still get that same flavour as well. So after you've milled your dried porcini mushrooms, which I said you can skip this step if you don't have them at home, that's fine. And if you're trying to hide any mushroom flavour, don't add them as well. We grate the Parmesan cheese, which you will actually see Elizabeth making later on, so I didn't want to repeat that step. And so the next step now is we just add fresh vegetables. So I've just got some onion, celery and carrots, and as you can see, I've just put them in, I just want to show everyone, in big chunks. You don't have to chop it up. And that's why Thermomix is so quick, because you don't have to get out that chopping board and spend all your time chopping vegetables up. It will do it all for you. And you can use whatever vegetables. So I've added a bit of zucchini if I've got zucchini. So anything you've really got in the fridge. It's got the built-in scales there. So everything's been measured out, and we're just going to press next. It's now asking for garlic clove. I like garlic, so I always put 2 or 3. And next. And that's one thing that I've noticed when I got my Thermomix is I don't use the garlic press anymore. So I love that because I hate washing it. Now we're just going to add some olive oil, and with this step, the built-in scales are in there again, so I know exactly how much I'm popping in, which is great because you're not having to dirty measuring cups and measuring spoons, and it just makes it really easy. So we're just going to pop next, and we're going to pop the lid on there. Next, and my time and speed is already preset, so I'm just going to turn that on. Okay. Now I'll just show you how much, in 5 seconds, I've chopped up all my veggies there. So even if you want to still be that traditional cook and still cook on the stove, the Thermomix is such a handy tool in the kitchen, because all that chopping that you're doing that can take you sometimes 15 minutes, half an hour, you can do in literally 5 seconds in the Thermomix. So we're just going to scrape that all down.
Good point for all of those who said, I don't have time to cook. Well, that is just 5 seconds.
5 seconds, that's it. So we're just going to pop this on. It's actually asking to keep the measuring cup off. And now it's just going to cook away for 6 minutes, 100 degrees, and saute I've got carrot, celery, and onion in there. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Jan. I'll be coming back to you in a moment, and we are introducing Megan Douglas. Hi, Meg. What are you going to show us today? What's your favourite?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. My favourite, well, I've chosen today's hollandaise sauce. So I'm actually going to make an all-in-one recipe, which has rice, salmon, asparagus, and make hollandaise. Well, that's not all-in-one, but anyway, we'll go through that. I'm actually going to use broccolini instead of asparagus. But the reason I've chosen hollandaise is a sentimental one. I've had a Thermomix. I had the TM31. I bought it about 2012, and I remember being at home, and I had kids in primary school, and I remember one day being a bit hungry, and I had a new Thermomix, and I thought, what can I have for lunch? And I had some salmon, and I thought, I'm just going to make hollandaise sauce to go with my salmon and eat that. And I felt really happy about how I could make hollandaise in 10 minutes. So that's what I do for you today. And the other thing about it is it's super versatile. So it's, a little bit fancy. It tastes great, but it goes with steak, salmon, vegetables, eggs. So it's a really good one to do. And this one is quite forgiving. So sometimes the hollandaise can be, it needs to be served straight away, but this is a good one. You can actually set it aside and cook the rest of your meal. So let's get on with that.
Put the recipe link in the chat. Sorry, just quickly for everyone who, if you're interested, I've put the recipe link into the chat box. So best to copy it out, and but I will share all the recipe links with you afterwards in my thank you email to you.
And probably what's different in this recipe to some of the hollandaise recipes that are in Thermomix is that this has a little bit of water. Some of them have water, but this one has 15 grams. And I think that just gives it a little extra length so that you've got time to do some other cooking, and it can sit there on the side. So I've got that here. I've already prepared that. 15, yes. And we've got freshly squeezed lemon juice. I've already done that for you. Now, this is not one of the reasons I probably don't eat this actually that often. So it's not, it may be a favourite, but I don't eat it that often. It's how much butter we put in. But, when you eat it as a family of 5 or something, you're only eating a little bit of that.
And it's so good.
It's so good. And so that's unsalted butter, cut into pieces. We've got 4 egg yolks. And so I will be making probably a pavlova later, not today. But I've put the egg whites into a little snap lock bag and I've put them in the freezer, and I wrote 4 egg whites on there. So then next time I am making a pavlova, I've got the egg whites ready to go.
That's great.
Another nice recipe with egg whites. There's a biscuit recipe in the cookidoo. It's an Italian one with egg whites. So put egg whites in and biscuits and you'll find it. And we've got half teaspoon of salt and some pepper. Put that in. And put the lid on. And that is going to cook. So we're using this with the TM6. It's the, what do we call it?
Thickening mode. The thickening mode.
Yeah. Thickening mode. So, in the old days it was time, temperature, speed, 7 minutes, 80 degrees, speed 4. But TM6 is a super smart, intelligent machine, and it will work it out for you. So sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes less, but it thinks about it and works out its consistency. So that's the fun thing about it. All you have to do is turn the dial. So we'll do that and we'll come back later.
All right, wonderful. And we will now add Monty to the screen. Here we go. Monty, in your kitchen, I'm curious which recipe you have decided. Oops. Yeah, here we are. You have chosen for us.
Well, I've chosen Panna Cotta, and the reason for it is because every time that we go out to a restaurant, my husband always asks for a Panna Cotta, and I thought that must be really easy to make, and it is extremely easy to make. There are several recipes in the cookidoo, but it's only cream, milk, sugar, and gelatin. That's it. So yeah, I'm going to show you how quick and easy. So to cook is basically 5 minutes, but then you have to let it rest for 6 hours minimum. So it is a very good dessert that you can make when you have visitors, and yes, you can really show off. We are going to use cream. At least you have to use 35% of fat. Let's see. Also, you can use, this cream when they are about to expire. They are also good for it. So, sometimes when you go to Coles or Woolies and they had it at reduced price, is the best cream to use for this, and also to make butter. So,
yeah, to make butter.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put 500 grams of cream. So my family are going to be very happy because I made 2 batches, one that is already set and another one. So 500 grams of cream, 250 of whole milk, so full fat. Okay, and is that all here? Yep. Caster sugar, I just don't bother. I put normal sugar and I reduce it. That's the only thing that I change from here. It says 150 grams of sugar. That for us is far too much, so I put less than half, and it's plenty. Okay, vanilla. Oh, yeah, I said vanilla paste, a little bit of vanilla paste. I saw all the recipes that also ask for a little bit of alcohol. So it's up to you. You just give it this extra flavor. And I have done it with frangelico, just because it's the thing that we have at home. And
it's not for the kids then.
Well, because you're going to be cooking it, the alcohol evaporates. So, yeah, no, they won't sleep even better. So while cooking it, it's asking for you to use the gelatin to activate the gelatin. So this is the gelatin that I use that you can find in any supermarkets. And it says, put it with water, cold water. So this is the gelatin. I don't know if you You can see it properly in the video. They are very thin. So 4 pieces of gelatin, and just cover it with cold water while this is cooking. And when it's finished cooking, so 5 minutes, 80 degrees, then we will add the gelatin, mix it again, and pour it into our glasses. So yeah, I can see you back in 5 minutes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Monty. Already my mouth is already watering. Do we say that? Okay. Okay, so we're back to you, Diana, and the mushroom bolognese.
Yes, so here come the mushrooms. And I've just used a mixture of the flat mushrooms and just the normal mushrooms, and I've just quartered them into pieces about this size. You can use whatever ones. This is a good recipe if you've got some sad-looking ones in the fridge. Just goes to show what kind of cook I am. I'm always talking about using old vegetables because I think sometimes I get excited in the markets or in the supermarkets and I buy too much. So I love any recipe that I can use up whatever I've got. So we'll pop that in.
Yeah, that's a great money saver, by the way, if you use up the vegetables. So first of all, plan what you eat and then eat what you have planned. That is a big step in getting your grocery bill down, that you're not going hungry into the shops, first of all, and then really only buy what you're really planning to cook and to eat, so you don't have to throw out things.
And you don't have to be perfect, because I find I tend to plan 1 week and then the second week I just do whatever. I go with the flow and then I go and plan the next week. So, but with the cookidoo app, it lets you do that. So you save anyway. So now what we're going to do, we've popped the mushrooms in there with a bit of olive oil, and now I'm just going to chop them up.
By the way, also a good rule of thumb for the sizes of the ingredients is when you have a look at the dial next to your screen, so that silver dial, that diameter is a good indicator of the size that the ingredient should have, or the mixing bowl lid, the hole in it, that's also a good rule of thumb for the size of the ingredients.
Yep, and I just want to show how this is chopped up, the mushrooms. I know it's really hard to see, but this is how you trick your family into thinking they're eating minced beef, because it actually does chop it up into into that size, and they can't tell. And it's got such nice flavour that you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. So we've just got scraped down the sides, and without the measuring cup again, we're just going to keep cooking for a little bit longer. So who's next?
You are still next. You wanted to show us how to cook the spaghetti in the thermoserver. So for those of you who have had a demo yet, or maybe you have bought at the time where a thermoserver was part of the gift with your purchase, then you're lucky. If you don't have a thermoserver yet, after what Diana's going to show you next, you really want one. So these are our host rewards. So if you haven't had your own cooking experience yet, this is the chance for you to talk to us, get your consultant into the house, invite 1 or 2 friends to cook together with you, and earn one of our thermoservers in the same time. All right, what are you going to do with the thermoserver now?
Well, this is a trick I picked up from you, Jenny. This is one of the joys of being a consultant. You really get to know your machine and the products. So the first time I actually cooked pasta in a thermoserver was when I cooked this this bolognese sauce, which I think this is why it's so special, because it was one of those meals that I just kind of made really quickly. Everyone was happy, they loved it, and it was super healthy. So, and the reason why I'm a bit of a convert and I always cook my pasta in the thermoserver is because it turns out perfectly every time. So you don't have to worry about water boiling over on the stove or overcooking your pasta or undercooking your pasta. So it seems to turn out perfect every single time. All you need to do with the thermo server is I've just drizzled some oil in there and I've popped in salt. Now I'm choosing this oval one for my spaghetti, so you just pop that in there. You can cook pasta in the round thermo server. So I usually do my penne or my spiral pasta in there, but the oval one is really good for spaghetti because it just fits in so nicely. And I'm just boiling the kettle now. So what we do is we cover that with freshly boiled water and we pop the lid on and we have a look in the packet and see how long it takes for the pasta to cook. So this one takes 11 minutes. I'll set my timer for 11 minutes. After that, take the lid off. With a fork, I'll mix it around, pop the lid back on, and then I'll check up on it after a minute or two. And after that, it should be done. Then you just strain it through your aroma. Or if you're very skilled and you don't want to dirty any extra dishes, you can just tilt that lid and tip it into the sink like that. But you have to be careful. I would not recommend this for children. So my water's just boiled. I'm just going to pop it on. And this is the best part, is that you're cooking a sauce and the pasta at the same time. And when you do strain that that water, your pasta will stay in the thermo server and keep warm for 2 hours.
That's fantastic. I so love this tip. Great time saver again there. Yeah, so you don't need 2 Thermomixes. You can really cook your pasta in the thermo server. And if you want to hear more about that, again, go back to your consultant. They're more than happy to share that and many more tips and tricks, what you can do with your thermo server as well. Okay, so we are going back to Monsi and she's going to show us how the panna cotta looks like.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to do the last step. That is actually to put this gelatin. So I squeeze the water as much as you can. And we're just going to put it there and mix it for a few seconds. So let's go back to it. Oops, too quick. I'm trying to be quick. So then in 10 seconds, it's going to be mixed and I'm going to pour it either in my glasses or these silicone molds. So I'm going to do that. But as I promised earlier, I prepare a set already for you guys. So I'm going to
show that. You're going to show us that later.
Well, I can show you now.
No, we're going to see it later. Keep a little bit of excitement for the last one. Thank you. Don't give it all away.
I was so excited to see the bubble because to see the panna cotta is really good. I like it to make it in this silicone molds because you can tip it up, you can turn it around and put it on a plate. And if it wobbles, your panna cotta is that perfect.
Is perfect, yeah. I love these little silicone molds. They're called silicone darioli molds, and you could also use them, by the way, in your varoma for steaming muffins or any other puddings. So sticky date puddings are great in these silicone molds there as well. They're heat proof. You can also use them in the oven, and you can get them at the mix shop. Okay, so we are adding we're going back to Megan's kitchen, who has now finished the hollandaise.
I have. So my hollandaise is ready and it looks beautiful. I've got a little mini, not the tiniest one, the middle mini thermo server, and I've put my hollandaise in there. So it looks beautiful. It's a nice consistency. It's not split, and it's just going to sit there with the lid on to keep warm, and we'll use that later.
Can I lick the spoon? Oh.
I'll do that when you're not looking. But I did have a test. It tastes really good. Now, the next bit in the recipe, I haven't actually moved up there, is said put it in there, clean and dry the mixing bowl. I'm not going to do that. What I actually do is I just grate some lemon zest it myself. You can do it in Thermomix, but I just find I can't be bothered washing. So I'll just use a grater, or I've got a
microplane.
Microplane. And I just chopped some herbs with with a knife. It was quite a novelty. And then I don't have to wash the bowl. I'll move along. And then we're going to get some rice. So we put the simmering basket into the bowl and weigh in the rice. It's 285 grams of rice. It's jasmine rice. And you're just going to run the water through that till it is clear, which I've already done. That's ready to go into there. And a litre of water.
So that just sits inside the bowl.
Yep.
So I know. Really,
so we're going to
see that.
Yeah, we're going to steam, and there's the fish and the broccolini on top.
And the rice all at the same time. So that's what we love.
And the rice, yep.
Again, time saving, so, and also efficiency and a bit of ease in the kitchen instead of having 2 or 3 different pots and pans. So if you think about, if you would make a hollandaise sauce from scratch, that would be at least 1 pot that you've already used, plus all the measuring cups and what's nots. Then cooking the rice in the next pot, and then steaming your vegetables and fish potentially in another 2 pots or containers, maybe using the microwave or not. So here we have all in one. Here we go. So that's the varoma, our steam.
Yes. That's right. So I've got the varoma, I've got the bottom. What do we call this? The tray.
That's the dish.
The dish, unless you have the tray. I have been using it a long time. I haven't put as much as it said because I'm just going to do this for me because everyone else already ate, but I'm going to eat this. So that goes on there. You could use asparagus. I've got broccolini, and it's also in the recipe has more salmon, and put a little bit of salt and pepper on there. You could put some other spices on there if you wanted to. Oh, hang on, I forgot one thing. Into the rice and the water, it suggests adding, this is actually an American recipe originally, although this is in metric, it's in the Aussie one. Some onion powder. I don't actually have onion powder, but I had some garlic powder, so that goes in there.
Oh, I love garlic.
Yes, it's just going to be a bit of flavour, and you don't have to do any chopping or anything. And some sea salt. A little of that in. Go through the lid, and combine with the spatula, which is still grubby with lovely hollandaise.
Yeah, add more flavour.
Oops, so that's ready. And then I think you give a little bit of a mix with your lid on. So we'll do 10 seconds of that, and it just washes all the flavour through, and then it cooks for, I'll let you know when I put the varoma on. Let's see. Season, yes.
yes, done all of that.
17 minutes for your rice to cook, and it says that I like mine a little bit less, so I just take that off a little bit sooner than that. So maybe 15, maybe 14 minutes, have a look, and I usually take those off, but it's 17 minutes for the rice, and then you put them all together as a delicious meal.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And now we are going to have a little bit of break from the cooking. I want to take you through cookidoo. So cookidoo is already included when you purchase a Thermomix, meaning you get 6-month free subscription or included subscription together with your Thermomix. For those of you who don't have cookidoo yet, today I will share a link with you. So it's cookidoo.com.au. You can sign up to that after this class, all right, and go on to cookidoo, make your own account and get 30 days free access, and have a little bit of play around what cookidoo can do for you. So, and that's what I'm going to do for the next couple of minutes. I'm going to share my screen again, so bear with me. Again, technology, here we go. So I hope you can see it. Yes, that looks good. So that is cookidoo. Just need to make you a little bit smaller here. My control panel is in the way. So when you are logging on to cookidoo either for the first time or when you already are using cookidoo, I like it that I always get greeted with my name. And here we have, this is like the global search bar, or this is like our Google search bar within cookidoo, where we can type in either recipes, cooking methods, ingredients, and just get inspired, feeling lucky about the rest of the suggestions cookidoo will have for us. I want to show you something today before we getting started, before we looking into cookidoo a little bit deeper. When you log in here, you can go into view your profile. And I want to encourage you to set your own profile for various reasons. So you can give yourself a name here. I've got one customer, she put in, instead of her name, she put in here gorgeous. So every time cookidoo comes up, it says, hello, gorgeous. Just an idea, maybe you want to do that too. Then here you can select your cooking style. So depending on what your preference is or your pain point is in the kitchen. So I've gone with the veggie cook because I'd like to have more veggie suggestions coming out of cookidoo. So we talked about the time saving. If that's you, click this one. If you are more down to towards the end where you go like a little bit more a challenge or new cooking inspiration, try the Chefy Cook. Or if you can't decide for any of that, just go with the classic cook here. Then further down, you can search and put in your filter preferences. So that's what I really want to encourage you to do. And you can see I've got a couple of different filters in here. So you just go into update your filters. And if you have a TM6, then you can select this one. If you, because that way you can make any recipe that you can find on cookidoo. Should you have one of the previous versions, then please select one of those. So you won't see TM6 recipes that are not suitable for your machine. If you do own a blade cover or a blade cover peeler, then you can tick that box, meaning you will get search results using the blade cover peeler. If you don't have one, please untick it, then you won't have the stress that you're in the middle of a recipe and all of a sudden it says put in the blade cover and you go like, what I don't have one. All right, so that's just another filter. If you speak more than one language, feel free to put in as many as you can, as many as you understand, or just use Google Translate. I've opted in for German and English. Maybe you can hear me talking a little bit funny. That's because my background is German. And you can also search or tick in a couple of countries or regions. Interesting enough, Switzerland also has English spoken recipes, so why not give it a go? The Canada, the United States and the UK are very popular, on top of obviously Australia, to have them for your search recipes. So once you have that, you will save all of that, and you can also upload a photo of you, you don't have to. And then next time when you log in into Thermomix, into cookidoo, you will then see here has 3 tabs. The one that is featured, that's usually the latest recipes that have been added. There's a For You tab. That is where you then get, according to your preferences, either your veggie cook or your Chefy Cook and so on. You get suggestions here. You can see what's trending now. Look at that. That is something I would definitely try and do. And if you come across, like I do it right now, a recipe that tickles my fancy, then I can either click on the recipe here, or you can do a shortcut using the 3 buttons here on the side, and it asks me, what do I want to do with this recipe? So in this case, I'm going to add this to my week, and it comes up with a calendar, and not going to do it today, but I'm going to add it for tomorrow, and I'm going to save it. So how this looks like, we're going to have a look in a moment. All right, and also here you can Google, or you can have a look after themes. So here Let's say I've got a little bit of time and browsing, so this you can really lose yourself within cookidoo. I promise you that, and just browse a little bit around. There's beautiful articles in there as well. So when we go into the search field, you can see here a couple of my last searches that I've done. So here I was looking for low carb recipes. He was looking for a particular recipe, the lemon curd. I was looking for cauliflower just for a certain ingredient, something you find in your fridge that needs to go. Don't throw it out, make something out of it, and let cookidoo help you with that. Okay, so then here on the top we can see my recipes, and in here when I do my search or when I do my browsing, I come across recipes, and you can either bookmark a recipe so you can find it again. Just be careful, if you bookmark too many, you won't find them again. So I highly recommend that you create your own collections. And for example, just to give what I've done, so here I got recipes for 1 and 2 only. Here are my diet recipes if I do the 5 to 2. I've got my 28-day savings challenge. I got 30 minutes or less challenge. I've got my bread collection, butters, and so on and so on. So I've got all these different playlists so I can find recipes easily again. I can also save whole collections. So a collection is either a collection that I've created or a collection that I can find on cookidoo, and I thought, oh yeah, I want to save the whole book, and so I can always come back to these books later if I'm searching for recipes. And now I want to show you my weekly meal plan. As we said earlier, the biggest money saver is really to eat everything that's in your fridge. So don't throw things out, all right? So here's my weekly meal plan. So this is obviously the menu we're having tonight. So watch this space. The cocktail and the chips are next up and running. And here is my menu for tomorrow. And these are the chocolate peanut butter protein balls that I've just added to my weekly meal plan for tomorrow. And I don't know if I do have the ingredients, but what I can do, I can say, add this recipe to my shopping list. So now I've added it to my shopping list, and if I scroll up, I can see the shopping list here on my side, on the side. So I can now go into show me the ingredients, and they sort it automatically by category, meaning if I go inside my grocery store, then I can just go through the aisles and basically once I pack them into my trolley, I can tick them off the list here as I go. I can add additional items that are not really food or recipe related, but it works as a shopping list as well. And if I have to isolate for various reasons, then I could also order my ingredients online, or again, just for the ease, for the time savers amongst you that just don't have the time to organize all the cooking. So here is the answer to that. You are connected automatically at the moment, Woolies only, to an online store where all of the ingredients that are in your shopping list are already listed here. So I couldn't find the toothpaste. That's something you have to then search manually. And if you're not happy with the suggestion, then you can even swap out also ingredients. If you say, okay, yeah, that's not my kind of brand, I prefer the green organic also, then you could also select that here too. So that is cookidoo for you, what I quickly wanted to share with you. And I personally think cookidoo is the answer to all of the pain points we have in the kitchen, because it's going to help you finding recipes that suit your needs. And yeah, just I want to encourage you to give it a go, and yeah, go to cookidoo.com.au if you don't have an account yet. All right, we are heading to Elizabeth's kitchen. Here we go. I was waiting for that.
Everybody, you are in Blair Gallery as we speak, and I have to share with you why these two recipes are my favourite.
Speak up. Sorry.
This recipe is my favourite. I'm lazy. They're quick, they're easy, and alcohol is involved. So I think that gets me across the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Parmesan Crisps. So easy. Oops, hang on, come on, up you come. Restart the recipe, because I did make some in advance, because you want to see the end result really quickly. So I'm going to start cooking. I've preheated my oven. I've lined my baking dish. And now I'm going to add 120 grams of Parmesan cheese. That gives you an idea of the size of it. In she goes. It's my style. Here we go. And some dried chili. It says half a teaspoon, but I like a little bit more. And I've added a bit more. And I've also got some basil in there. So the next thing is, this is so quick, so easy. Great if you've got friends dropping in for a drink. It's 8 seconds. A little bit noisy.
All right, so she's a little bit, because that is too loud for Zoom. So she has been muted, so to speak. So yeah, that's a great recipe that you can really do. You can do this whilst the friends are walking in. And if you're running out of crackers, you can just easily make them. And they're keto.
My point. I'm a keto kid. I love my keto. It's me.
Speak up a little bit. Sorry, we can't hear you.
So, let's quieten that one down. So you can see the result in just a matter of seconds. It grinds it up into a very fine powder. Here we go. That's my tray. It's a little bit of product placement. This is quite a large tray. It's in rose gold, and you can buy it in the mix shop. This works for me because I can fit the whole of this recipe on this tray. So it says a tablespoon. I'm a bit of a guesswork kid. And you're not seeing this. So what I'm going to do...
Oh, it's okay. We can see.
...is lift that up and put in a tablespoon, and you just pat it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then it's going to jump into the oven. And this is what it ends up with. Look at that lacy.
Oh.
Oh. They're lovely. While you guys have been working, I've actually been eating this.
Okay.
I forget to eat. I'm actually not going to set all that up for you. I've been allocated 10 minutes. Not enough time.
All right. So you can do the eating later, but you're continuing now with the cocktail.
I am.
Right.
What's better than one Thermomix bowl? That's going to be true. So I'm going to clean on the topping. So this is quite interesting. I'm hitting home. My recipe is still up there, but I'm actually going to jump out of that recipe, and I'm going to go back to recently cooked. And recently cooked. Oh, my cocktail. Here you go. Come on, up you come. Do you want to resume the recipe?
You have that on speed dial, don't you?
Restart. Oh, yeah. Well, I remember once my Thermomix being used in a live cooking class, and you were explaining about how you could save your own collections. Of course, you were using my machine, and the cocktail one came up. So I'm going to start now. And it says, do you want to start a new recipe? I'm going, yeah, I do. I'm done with the other one. So 150 grams of strawberries. But I've pretty much weighed that out in advance because we don't want to waste your valuable time. Oh, it's a bit more. I think the recipe can take it. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Because I'm keto, I'm using monk fruit, which is a sort of a fake sugar. I've already made it clearly enough. It's not clear. Now, if you make a sugar syrup using regular sugar, it'll be clear. But this has got a little bit of colour to it. It doesn't matter. The cocktail is not going to know the answer to that. So I'm putting in, it's about 2 tablespoons. Here we go. Next thing. Oopsie lazy. Off we go. Oh, my lime. Yeah. The whole lime, but you've got to take the skin off and the pith out. So I've already done that, and happily my limes had no pips in whatsoever. So I've done that little bit, which is good and fun. Oh, here comes the vodka.
Now comes exact measuring.
Right, here we go. It says 60 grams. Oopsie daisy. I don't think the cocktail's going to know it's got a little bit extra in there.
Or to taste, right?
No, it says 200 grams of ice cubes. Lucky me, my fridge actually just gutses it out as I'm on demand, so I don't have to go to any extra special effort. So here we go. Well, again, I've put in too much. Oh, no, I put an extra vodka. Here we go. All right. Just if you haven't got an extra BBL, bowl, blade and lid, talk to your consultant, say the next time it comes up in a host reward or something, let me know, because you having an extra bowl, blade and lid is absolutely stunning. Okay, so I've got 5 seconds at speed 5.
What went wrong?
Nothing went wrong. It says transfer into glasses and serve. But I think this is how I normally roll with it. Oh, there's no one to...
Can we have a glass today?
You want a picture? I'm going to pour this into a glass?
Yes, put it in a glass, please. Just to please me tonight, thank you.
Who don't know me, have a quick look on Zizzy Mix, Thermo-Crazy on Facebook. I think I've got pictures of me drinking straight out of the jar.
There's a very famous picture of Elizabeth drinking her cocktail straight out of the bottle. That's why it's her signature.
I did have to drink it all, by the way. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm done. How quick was that?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure always to watch you in with your cooking and your cocktails. So thanks again for sharing that one with us.
Delicious. That's the best one I've ever made.
I'm so excited. That's good. All right. So we have heard about the mix shop quite a bit. And Elizabeth was just referring back to the second bowl. So here's the thing. You have seen a couple of the functions that a TM6 has. So the thickening mode, which was basically the only mode that you probably haven't used if you have a previous model of that. So there's more modes available, like an egg cooker mode, there's a rice cooker mode, there is a fermentation mode to make your own yogurts, and so on and so on. So I want you to go back to your consultant and book them for a learning cooking experience for you. Not only that, you will learn more about how to use your Thermomix and experience life and in color at your place with the smell and everything and the taste afterwards, but also you will be eligible for our well, let's say thank you vouchers. We do have, so if you had your delivery briefing with your Thermomix consultant yet, you will be eligible for a 10% discount on the mix shop. If you want to increase that to 20%, you would want to reach out to your consultant and book them in for a learning cooking experience. This means all you need to do is invite 2 more guests, friends, neighbors, family, anyone that you were talking about. Hey, I got a Thermomix now, and they go like, what is that? Or, well, you won't hear that anymore, so they're really quite popular. But anyone's like, oh, I always wanted to see one. So keep that in mind, or start talking to people about that you now have a Thermomix and see how they react. If they want to see it too, please reach out to your consultant, grab the 20% discount voucher from the mix shop. which you can use to purchase a second bowl. So a second bowl is $379. Imagine you could get that 20% off. And all the other items we were referring to as well, including getting access to your host rewards or the thermo service that are there available on top as well. We haven't seen a couple of other ones, but again, your consultants are more than happy to help you to figure out what kind of host reward you want. And you know what? There's no limit. You can host as often as you want and grab all of the host rewards every single time. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Come back, design your own cooking experience, learn more, talk with us. We are here to help you to make the most out of your Thermomix investment. And now we're going back into all of the kitchens and want to see a little presentation of all the dishes that you made. And we're going to start with Monsi's. Now you can show us your Panna Cotta.
Thank you. Well, before I show you the end result, I'm going to show you as well how to remove the Panna Cotta. You can tell that I'm tired already. So, because it's a silicone, I use a plastic knife. I just go around. Oh, I cut it a little bit more than needed. And then I just put my plate upside down. So then the result will be a Panna Cotta with a wobble.
Ooh.
If you want to put it on a plate, on a glass, you can have it like that as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Or with a glass.
Yeah, wonderful. Can you take a picture? We're going to add all the pictures onto our Bayside Thermomix community on Facebook. And for everyone who's not part of the Facebook Bayside Thermomix community yet, please let me know and we will add you, or just find us on Facebook and I will add you to the group. All right, wonderful. So we are adding Diana to what can we see here?
Yeah, so I just wanted to show you before all the cheese melted. So that is, I don't know what the best angle is, my mushroom spaghetti bolognese. You didn't get to see me really cook it. I just wanted to say that I added some chopped tomato, fresh tomato, which is a good way to use up those squishy ripe tomatoes, but you can also use a tin of tomato. I added just dried herbs, some rosemary, the mushrooms, tomato paste. I always double tomato paste because I like my sauces a little bit richer. And also the vegetable stock paste, our liquid gold, which adds so much flavour. So yeah, that's my spaghetti bolognese. And if you're not sure how your family will take it, I suggest you can turn it into a lasagna with a bechamel sauce using that thickening mode, and everyone will love it, guaranteed.
Yep. Just don't tell them.
Yes, right. Wait until they finish and they give it a 10 out of 10, and then ask them. Oh, tell them. Sorry.
Great tip. I love that. Okay, and we're heading over to Megan's kitchen.
Hello everyone. I just want to let you know, so with the rice, when it's cooked, you mix in the herbs and the lemon zest. Remember, we do that by hand, or you can do it in your machine, and that just gives a lovely flavour. So we have a little bit of the garlic powder, salt, and then those. So that's that. And here it is. They're very fancy. Ooh. Yeah, so we've got some rice. I've done in a little fancy Darrell mould, some broccolini, the salmon, which is nice and pink, which I like, but if you could cook it a little longer, it's just up to you. And then the hollandaise sauce. So my dinner is ready.
That looks good. I like that. So this is the same Darioli mold that Monsi has used to make the cup there. Oh, it looks beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for showing up.
No, it looks quite rare there, but it's actually perfect when I look at it from my side.
Yeah, no, it looks great. All right, let me add also again Elizabeth and everyone else to to the last round, and so you can see us all one more time. And Elizabeth is already enjoying her crackers and the cocktail. Looks great.
I'm being a lady. I'm drinking it out of the glass.
No, that's okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining our virtual cooking experience here tonight. I hope you have learned a couple of new things or got inspired to try a couple of new things, sharing our consultants' favorites with you for tonight. And I want to say big thank you to the team. You've done an amazing job as always. So thanks for doing this here with me tonight. And so if you guys are heading over to the mix shop now that you are curious and seen a couple of things in there, don't forget to add your consultant before you check out. This is your way of saying thank you to them. So we do get a little bit of commission on that, and just for you to acknowledge that you've learned this from us, or to say thank you to your consultants there. All right, so let me know if you want to hear more about joining our fabulous team, so you would be able to work with all these beautiful women and myself. And so share the Thermo love. Tell everyone about it, and I hope we see you soon next time, either live and in person or to our next online session. That's it for tonight. Thanks and see you soon. Bye.